Good morning, everybody. My name is Reverend Janet Nohavec. I'm pastor of the Journey Within in Pompton Lakes, New Jersey, coming to you virtual this morning. Joining us this morning is Minister Simon James. He will be coming in a little bit after we open the service with our healing time. As a spiritualist church, we do believe in spiritual healing. Spiritual healing, if you were here in the chapel, is the laying on of hands in prayer. It's certainly a very strong piece of spiritualist belief. Our absentee healers are here with us today. They'll be sending absentee healing. If you'd like to participate in the meditation time, we'll start with an opening prayer. Healing prayer will be going into a quiet time of music and meditation. Our absentee healers will be working, sending healing. If there's anyone you would like to request healing for, please put them in the chat box. First name, last initial, no last names to keep confidentiality. If there's anyone during the course of the week you would like to request healing for, please email the church, leave a phone message. We're here every day, we're paying attention. So please feel free to do that, including your pets. Um, as we begin to move towards that healing time, we'll just open with healing prayer. Infinite and gracious God, as we draw together this morning in community, we pray for those places all around our planet that are experiencing really difficult times during this COVID time. But as well, those places still devastated by war, lack, places where children still don't have food or clean water. We pray for your family members who may be suffering this at this time, either emotionally, physically, spiritually, or mentally. We pray for each of you present here as we go into this time of healing. I'd just like to focus on your breathing and relax into this meditation time, igniting the inner healer within inside yourself, breathing in and stimulating that your immune system be stronger and stronger. And whatever it is at this time you may find challenging, may you know that the presence of that God, which we know to be love, is always with us. Sometimes the hand of God may feel heavy, but in this journey of life, may you find the love, the support, and the healing that surrounds us all. Amen. As we come to the end of our healing time, we lay all of your prayers at the footstool of the Great Spirit, which we know to be love. Amen. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you to our healers for all of their service all the days. To me, healing is such a selfless act of love. So our gratitude goes out to our healers, as always. We welcome today Minister Simon James, who is a longtime friend of the Journey Within. He is associated with the Open Doors Sanctuary in Canada and Inner Quest Foundation. He's been a tutor and is still a tutor at the Arthur Findlay College. He holds credentials from the Spiritualist National Union. He's an ambassador for Spirit around the world. So thank you, Simon, for being with us. And it's a lot of fun when he's here in person, I have to say. So much fun. Good memories of trampling through Disney World, I have to say. So
very much so.
Good things to come again. So we certainly welcome Simon. We do begin with prayer and song, so we would ask Simon to open with prayer.
In whichever way that you see and experience the divine, please join with me in prayer. Within this one breath, let us be present in the divine experience that moves us, motivates us, and is present in all things. In the experience of life, let us be in gratitude for the experience of one another, of family, of friends, of community, of this world. And may we always see with the eyes of the Creator, that we may see its beauty, that we may be the hands of the Creator, that we may act within this world to create beauty. And may we be the heart of the Creator, that we may see, experience, and reflect love in all around us. And in that knowledge always, let us be in the understanding that death always is but a gateway into that larger world that we may call the spirit. But it is in the reflection of the spirit and in the knowledge always that life is within life, is the experience always that it begins and ends always within love. And it is in this time, this place, this experience of the sacred that we hand this service in to the understanding always that is love. Amen.
Um, it's my pleasure and honor to welcome Minister Simon James for the address today. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Reverend Janet, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's my great pleasure, as always, to be back at the Journey Within, to take part in the service. It's always a wonderful time, and we do bring as well fraternal greetings from your sister church, the Open Door Sanctuary, back in Victoria, Canada, and from Reverend Brian Robertson, obviously to Reverend Janet, and to all of the community at the Journey Within. Hopefully it won't be too long before we can get back together again. And that normal service will be resumed, but a new service will take place, which will be wonderful. But as Reverend Janet and I were just talking earlier, the ability to communicate with you through computer means is one of the great bonuses and one of the great gifts that's come out of this time. And one of the wonderful things about communication that I think we've found throughout this period of time is our relationship with people. And why I talk about this is because obviously we're coming up to Highsville Day, March 31st, where ostensibly we celebrate the birth of modern spiritualism, or certainly a point of history in which we can coalesce and say, this is where we began in our modern sense. And of course, obviously, the great work that Reverend Janet is doing with the Hydesville project, the schoolhouse project there, in preserving our history for future generations is nothing short of remarkable. And when Reverend Robertson and myself were with you at the Journey Within, and we had a little time off, obviously, Reverend Janet and ourselves would take off grave hunting. And, I think one of the great things that we did was, which is now being carried on by many other people, is that we created an excitement and a joy in seeing where we've come from, whether it was visiting the Fox sisters' grave, whether it was actually going to the Fox Cottage, whether it was going to Boston and visiting Andrew Jackson Davis, Harriet Wilson, Leonora Piper, and so many others that we found, and gave our respects to the people that came before us. And now that enthusiasm really has been carried on by other people, which is great to see. And so one of the things that we do as human beings is when we look back at our history, one of the things that we tend to do is put these people on pedestals and take them away from their humanness. And one of the things that certainly we have experienced during this pandemic has been our relationship with other people. And I think one of the great challenges as it has given to us is also now seeing ourselves as real people with real foibles, that we are not good, that we're not bad, that we are human beings. So why am I mentioning this is because spiritualism in its original form was always about people. It was always about people that did ordinary lives that created extraordinary things. And I've often thought, what would the pioneers be doing now if they were here? Well, more than likely, they would be part of Black Lives Matter. They would be part of the Me Too movement. They would be part of all the big social movements that are taking place and causing people to think today. because our early pioneers were really at the cutting edge. And I'm not going to give you a history lesson here because many of you know your history so well within spiritualism, but they would be at the forefront of these big social changes. Certainly the Fox sisters, the way they were treated, both as women and as children, would now be seen as child abuse. No two ways about it. What they went through was horrendous. And so the problem with history is that we can see those individuals as something more than human and sometimes less than us, in the sense that we are divorced or separated from who they were as human beings. Now, more than likely, if many of us met our pioneers, Fox sisters, Andrew Jackson Davis, Emma Hardinge Britten, would we get on with them? Probably not. Would we respect them and marvel at their ability to change the world? Absolutely. But these people had remarkable personalities that said to the world, I don't really mind what you say about me. I don't really care what you do to me, but I care about this world. And therefore, I want to bring about a change. And so, where do we find ourselves in the early part of the 21st century as spiritualists? Well, I'm always fascinated by social media and I use it myself. I mean, some of you I see on there. And I'm always fascinated about social media in the use of how it connects us, but also how it divides us. And I'm often fascinated by the little battles and the fallouts that goes on about sometimes the most minuscule things that are not really important because if somebody said something and somebody has a different view, either politically or about the vaccination program or all of these different things. When in actual fact, the fascinating thing about us being human is that mentally, we think that we are going to be around forever. Now, the soul, the essence of who we are, knows that. But I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but I've got a sneaking suspicion that I'm not going to be around forever. It appears that one day I will die. Now, I have a choice between the bits of time that I've got left to be Simon, or I can spend so much time in being part of an experience in a world where I seem to need either validation from the outside world or I feel that actually I am powerless within this world. And the pioneers that came before us were human beings. They had doubts, they had fears, and in many cases, rightly so, because some of them, certainly Emma Hardinge Britten and some of that generation were in danger of losing their lives because of what they were saying. Now, that's not happened to me, thank goodness. But how am I going to spend the rest of my life before I move into that place of the spirit? Am I going to get caught up in the minute smallness of life where I worry about what people think, what people care? Or am I going to make the most of my life in order to make a change? Now, it may be that you're not planning on changing the world, and that doesn't matter. But what does matter is, are you going to be able to change yourself in order to live in this world as yourself? And spiritualism, from its very inception, drove the idea that to be human is to be divine, that there was no separation between us than what comes after us and also what drives us, which is the spirit, which is God. And I've been reminded of this greatly over these last 12 months. As some of you may or may not know, I've been in the UK for the last 14 months caring for my mother. She was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and epilepsy. And for those of you who have dealt with people, who are dealing with people, or caring with people with any form of dementia, you know what a terrible illness that is. It takes away so much, and really is certainly one of the most awful things I've had to witness. And yet one of the strangest things that it has also done, certainly for my mother, is that as it's taken away part of memory and who she is, it's also taken away the fear of who she is. Now, my mother was brought up by very strict Methodist parents. And so she had to go to chapel 3 times a day on a Sunday. She had to go to church throughout the week. She couldn't wear red because red designated a very, very unsavory color for women of her generation, and only certain ladies wore red, not respectable ones. So she grew up in a generation that wasn't allowed to dance. She could sing, but hymns are good. Anything else, not so much, but no dancing. And my mother and her 2 sisters love to dance and love to sing. And they all have amazing voices now. Unfortunately, I don't have that gene in my family. I didn't get it. Even when I'm on my own in the house, I lip sync because my voice is so bad. Even I can't stand to listen to me, so I just lip sync. So I didn't get that gene, unfortunately. But one of the interesting things is now, and I've been fortunate enough to find a care home for my mother, is the last time I spoke to her, she said, I sing all the time now. She says, and I don't care. I said, that's great. I said, sing. I says, just keep singing. She says, and the thing is, she says, and once the music starts, because in the home they play a lot of 40s and 50s and 60s music, obviously for the generation. She says, my leg just starts moving and I have to get up and dance. She says, and I can't stop myself. I just have to dance. And they actually love her in the home because it's a brand new one. So there's just a small amount of people in there because she encourages everybody else to get up and dance and sing. And 2 of her favorite musicals are The Sound of Music and Phantom of the Opera. So The Hills Are Alive are on constantly. So Climb Every Mountain is on repeat pretty much. But the wonderful thing is that if you had met my mother 20 years ago, 10 years ago, never would she have ever stood up in a room full of people and started to dance. Never in a room full of people would she have sung or encouraged other people because that wasn't the way she was brought up. And I said to my mother, I said, you dance, you sing. And she says, I don't care what other people think. She says, I'm sure some people don't like it. She says, but I just have to sing. I just have to dance. And I said to her, just keep dancing. Just keep singing until you don't want to, until you run out of puff. And why I tell that story is because it has taught me so much about the human condition. And we spend so much of our lives trapped in the perception of what other people may think, what other people may assume, what other people may or may not choose to believe. And gang, it's really none of our business. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of you. But what does matter is what you think. And so the pioneers that came before us, we may not have got on with them. Emma Hardinge Britten sounded like a formidable person and probably wouldn't have brooked any argument and would probably have just pushed everybody out of the way. Or may not. But she may not have had the same sense of humor as us. She may have said to us now, you haven't got a clue what you're doing it completely wrong, and I would have done it so much different. And that's wonderful, because human beings are infuriatingly wonderful. They are nightmarishly, fiendishly adorable. And, I'm a minister, so I have to say good things and nice things all the time. It's part of the contract. But I don't know about you guys, but sometimes people drive me nuts. And, The wonderful thing about God, because God's really, really clever in this way, God put me on the earth to drive other people nuts. And that's wonderful, because there is the wonderful sharing of what makes us human. But if we are going to spend the rest of our lives, however long or short that we have, in constantly not being ourselves and being afraid to dance because of what someone may see or think about us, then we are never truly alive. Now, it's taken a disease to give my mother her freedom, which is both ironic and terribly sad. Spiritualism can give you that same freedom if we allow it. Because, one day we are going to die. It may be soon, it may be a long time in the future. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to get to that other place and look back and thought, I wish I'd have danced more. I wish I'd have sung more. I wish I'd have done all of the things that I am here wishing. And spiritualism allows you to be you as hard as you possibly can, to be infuriatingly wonderful, not spiritually marvelous, but infuriatingly wonderful. Because you ain't going to get any more spiritual. This is as good as it gets, guys. You were born spiritually full, you're living spiritually full, you're going to die spiritually full. But what you can gain more in your life is the freedom to be you. And you have an immortal spark of the divine that is constantly seeking to express itself. So, okay, so your jokes are bad. Great, tell more bad jokes. Okay, so you can't parallel park. Just oversharing there a little bit. But that's okay, because people are watching you trying to parallel park and it's giving them a smile. Hopefully they're not standing too close, because it can get a little bit dangerous and lawsuits may be involved. But it doesn't matter, because the essence of who you are is freedom. Now, spiritualism began in the 19th century and drove the freedom of the human race. The emancipation of slavery, the women's suffrage, the ability to create better working conditions, the ability to give children education. Spiritualism was a part of all of these massive, massive social movements. And so this belief system, this religion, this system of understanding, whatever you want to call it, has always been and always will be about freedom. But it will only show you your freedom when you realize that you are the one to open the prison door. So look back on this Hydesville Day and celebrate the pioneers. Celebrate where we have come from. Think about where we are going to. But in this point of the present, reflect upon who you want to be, where do you want to be, and more importantly, how do you want to be? Free. And if somebody on social media says, I don't like what you're saying, harumph, 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 da 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 da, that's okay, because they have every right to say what they want to say. And you have every right to not listen, to say something else. But also, if someone is really taking the time to get that worked up about what you're wearing, what your political view is, what your beliefs are, you could be outside dancing. You could be singing. You could be drawing. You could be painting. You could be you. Because in these years that we have left, the only thing you need to be is you. That's why you're here. To love, to be, to infuriate, and to allow those people that you touch to know that you're there. In conclusion, at this time, and there's a lot of things on the TV, certainly over in the UK here, where people are doing retrospectives over what has the pandemic brought. What has it given to you? And many people have said to me in my current situation, well, I'm sure the Spirit has been very close to you and God has been really close to you, providing support. And I said, absolutely. But it's not come from a bolt from the blue. I've not seen any burning bushes, though I certainly would have liked to, because my mother's backyard I've had to cut down, and a burning bush would have helped fantastically, I can tell you now. I've not even heard a voice from the heavens. But the Spirit of the divine has been present around me, because there have been family, there have been friends, there have been people who've supported me, checked in on me, and offered help, whether it's via a message, an email, or any form of communication. So I know the divine has been present. And the problem with supernatural phenomena is that they're pretty amazing, but they're not much good when you're trying to clean out a house. But people are really good at that. So look for the divine in those around you. Look for the divine in yourself. And I always like to say, because it's always puzzled me, that saying, dance like nobody's watching. Well, anybody can do that. But to dance like everybody's watching, that's amazing. And my mother has achieved that. And I hope she continues to dance and sing Climb Every Mountain until that piece of music wears out. But don't be like my mother. Don't wait. Don't look through the window of the dance hall and think, I need to get on that dance floor. Don't look at a piece of clothing and go, I can't wear that. I'm too young. I'm too old. It's too colorful. Don't look. Don't. Just stop doing the don't. And just get out there and dance all the days of your lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simon. Beautiful, beautiful, inspiring words. If we were in person at the church, we would be coming to our collection and our announcements. So if you're so moved, Karen has come up with this little box. You can take a picture of it and it'll take you right to the donations center. Any donation is truly appreciated, great and small, or you can use the traditional way of sending in a donation. We deeply appreciate any effort in that way. This evening at 6:30 is our student demonstration of student service. That's really worked out quite fantastically. So please join ministers in training, ordained ministers, mediums in training for that service. It's really worked out, as I said, quite well. This evening at 7 o'clock our time, there's a demonstration with myself and James Van Prague for the Hydesville Schoolhouse. That's doing really quite well. So please consider joining us for that demonstration. And all of the proceeds go to the Hydesville Restoration Fund, which the plans have arrived from the architect. We're just finishing on the final plans. We've talked to the building inspector from the town. So next they go to him. So keep all that in our prayers, please. We appreciate that. If you'd like to drop off any food for the local pantry, Kumac, you can do so. You can leave it here at the church door. Please don't bring glass or anything perishable. And please, if you can bag it or box it so I can get it in the building. You can also go to Kumac and make a donation that way if you would like to. Almost every day there's something happening. Monday nights there is Journey to the Soul with Reverend Anna. There's an advanced mediumship class. Tuesday night is a beginners and then a beginner's intermediate class. Wednesday night is our healing and message service. Thursday night is beginner's psychic development. Wednesday afternoons at 2:30 now there is a development class for students that are international that requested something that would not be in the middle of the night for them. And we'll also be adding a Sunday 1 o'clock development class with Reverend Dawn. Similarly, people are off and people from different places have requested that. During the weekend, there are all sorts of courses coming up. This coming weekend, which will be, I think that's the Easter weekend, April 3rd, there's a demonstration of myself with Val Williams. I've never worked with Val Williams, so it's going to be interesting and fun, I'm sure, I have to say. Um, uh, there's a talk with Stephen Upton, Rational Spiritualism, and those are both on Saturday. Then the following weekend, there is the Power of Prayer with Minister Judith Seaman. And every weekend thereafter, so many different things coming up. There's a fundraiser with myself and Mavis Patilla coming up for the schoolhouse. Ongoing. We've decided that we need to make some effort towards paving the parking lot at the Journey Within in New Jersey, which we think will be sizable, I have to say. We already know just the paving part, but we do need to go through the town with permits, which also we found out the environmental departments have to sign off on. So I'm sure that's going to raise the cost of that. So we'll be bringing you more details about that, but it's time to at least begin the endeavor towards that, which we'll get to at some point. We have no doubt. Um, I'd like to thank all the volunteers who help run all these Zoom things, the techs who are in every class, the volunteers who run all the courses during the week. I mean, we could not possibly have survived and thrived during a pandemic without every one of yours help. We miss you dearly in the church. We won't be opening the church till things are back opened up to 100%. If you've been here, the chairs are very close. So the socially distance here is going to be a bit challenging. Most important that you stay safe uh, significantly. As well, thank you to Reverend Patty and Reverend Karen, particularly with all that tech help and tech work. She's done a fantastic job. Um, so I think that's all the announcements. If I forgot anything, if somebody could put it in the chat to me, appreciate it. Can't think of anything else at the minute. There is a student demonstration of mediumship with our advanced students from Monday nights on April 12th. Last time we had 200 people, so that was like fantastic, I have to say. So please consider coming again. There's no fee for that. We miss seeing your eyes, but we're glad we can be in communication with you in this way, at the very least. We're going to be moving into our demonstration of mediumship. Before we do that, we always have a piece of music. After that, if Reverend Simon brings forward a body of evidence that you believe belongs to you, if you could put up your little yellow hand, could a few people put up your little yellow hands to show how that's done? It's along the bottom, raise hand. Other people, it might be reactions. Zoom is always changing. Thank you for that. If you can take the first 3 pieces of information and not the next 3, please lower your little yellow hand so we can find a recipient as quickly as possible, I have to say. So we'll be going into a piece of music before we move into the demonstration. Someone asked me to clarify, please raise your little yellow hand if you can take 90% of what Reverend Simon brings forward regarding the 2 contacts he'll be bringing forward. Until then, we're going to lower your hands. We always have our message prayer. So do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I'm 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circle flight. I am the soft star that shines at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. I'll turn the demonstration over to Reverend Simon.
Thank you, Janet. Just while we were listening to that last piece of music, I was conscious of a lady here. She does feel like mom. And I'm just going to be, my geography here is going to be a little bit out, but I did feel as if that I'm going to, I wanted to speak to somebody I felt that has connections to Ohio. I'm sure it was Ohio that I wanted to speak to. And I don't know whether the person I wish to speak to either is from Ohio or is from that area. But I did feel as if that I wanted to go to that place. I felt mom was in the other world. And I also felt as well, though I didn't feel as if this was her name necessarily, but I did feel also as well that whoever I wish to speak to would have a connection to either Pat or Patricia. But it's because I just felt wherever we are, I'm sort of on the sort of northeastern area of the United States, sort of just moving in. Is anybody here that has a connection to Ohio and lost a mom?
There's Laura putting her hand up. If you can unmute Laura. There you go.
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm from Ohio. I lived there, gosh, nearly 30 years.
Yeah.
And I have an Uncle Pat, and he lost a wife who was kind of like a mother to me. She wasn't an actual biological mother, though.
Okay. Well, let's see where we go with this, Laura, because I just was know that it definitely Ohio. I can't even pronounce it. Ohio. But I also felt as if there was this name of Pat would link here. So let's just work with this. And so this lady was like a mother to you, Laura.
Yes, like a mother to me, and very close to my own mother.
Okay, fine. Well, let's just see where we go on this. Because the interesting thing is, do you know if in your family, now I talked about my own mother with dementia, with Alzheimer's, but do you know also if there's any connection in your family where someone also would have had this issue?
Yes, but not with the person who passed.
That's fine. It's because I just felt as if there should be a link here.
Just mention Simon, just in case there are two other hands.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Janet. All right, Charles, just see them. So Jim and Shannon, if you can also carry on listening to this, if this also makes sense, please do so. Come in. Because I did feel as if that there was also some issue with either dementia or a diminished cognitive awareness as well, connected to somebody in the family. Would that make sense to Jim or Shannon with Ohio and all of this stuff?
I'm going to bring them both in then.
Not the dementia for me.
Okay, Jim, thanks. And what about Shannon?
Ohio, for sure.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm from Ohio. My mom lived in Ohio as well, and she also had dementia.
Okay.
And she had a friend named Pat who's also in spirit.
Great. Thanks, Shannon. Laura, I might come back to you, but I feel as if I want to have this as a package. Okay, so thank you both for speaking to me. So Shannon, can I speak to you?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that makes sense then. So would you understand with your mother as being quite a force to be reckoned with from a personality wise?
Yes, definitely.
Because I've definitely got somebody here who needed to have things right, needed to have things correct, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. And because if I can say this, you're not like your mom in that way. You, even though I know that you're got the perfectionist streak and whatever, there's where you're concerned, Shannon, if I'm correct, there's just a little bit more leeway, a little bit more breathing room, if I can put it that way.
Probably.
Okay. Well, it just seems compared to your mom, you just seem a little bit more relaxed, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. Why I just feel as if I want to say this is because as I said, your mom, I feel definitely was this strong character that really, I'm not saying that she needed to control everything, but she needed to feel safe in her life, if I can put it that way.
I'm sorry, the internet cut out
Okay.
a little bit. Can you repeat that again for
Yeah,
me?
of course, yeah. I feel as if that your mom always needed to feel safe in her life.
Yes.
Yeah, because I've got this lady I felt who really tried hard to keep things together, keep things going, if that makes sense.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And I just feel sometimes where you're concerned is that sometimes it wasn't always easy to do that for your mom.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
But what I mean by that, what that is that I just feel as if that mom, was there for you. She tried to do her best, but I just feel as if there were times where mom's view was different to yours, if I can put it that way.
Sometimes, yes.
Okay. Why I'm saying this is because I also feel as if there are times your mom must have got impatient with things.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay. Well, what I'm feeling here is there must have been a period of time in your mom's life where there was this feeling here of frustration. There's this as if that I just want to get things going because your mother really, I feel, had a big connection with family and of wanting to keep everything together or keep family together. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and my sister and I
Yeah.
don't get along very well, so that could be,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to get at here. What I feel with your mother is that she did her best to try to keep everything together, but there's also an understanding that we can't always keep things together for the sake of keeping things together, if I put it that way.
Okay.
Well, what I'm saying is that it's okay to be you. Things are as they are. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. What I'm talking about here is that from your point of view, is that there's also a need for you to not move into this whole second guessing things where, people are people and we're individual. And I just, if for want of a better description, I just feel as if your mom wants to encourage some peace for you.
Thank you. I definitely need that right now.
Yeah, that's what I really feel here. Can I just ask you, Sharon, as well? Did you, I know this might sound obvious, but not everybody's like this. But there must have been a love of children with your mom. Does that make sense?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did love to be around children.
Yeah, because I see as if that was a joy for her where there were children around her. It doesn't matter whether they were her own or anybody else's. I feel as if that she had a great understanding with children. There was this feeling of just that whole being nurturing and of connection to kids she really loved.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. And it's almost as if that where you're concerned at the moment, I need you to be a little girl again. I need you to be a little, basically, if you will, plain English, have some fun.
Okay.
Now, whatever that is, it doesn't matter what, but I just feel as if there's just a need just to let go a little bit. And for want of a better description, relax.
Okay.
And I just feel as if that mom's coming in here. Now, these are my interpretations because your mom wouldn't have said any of this type of stuff at all in the way I'm putting it. Definitely not. That's not her. These are my interpretations because your mom had a really, I feel, an incisive mind, really, she was a clever lady. And I just feel she didn't always get her full potential to be explored. And it's like wanting you to not give up on that for yourself. Okay.
That makes sense.
Good. Okay, so whatever your plans and dreams are, don't give up on them because mom's there behind you. And I just need to say, just quickly before I finish here, thank you for being you and thank you for being there.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome, because that's important, because I know sometimes you have not always thought you've done enough, you did enough, all that stuff, but you did. And thank you. Okay.
Thank you. That means a lot. I've been struggling a lot, just dealing with her estate and everything. So
And you know something? You're doing a fantastic job, and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise, okay? Because, and this is the point that why she's here, is because you're doing the best that you can. You can't do any more, okay? And it's okay. You just make the best choices that you can with what you feel is right.
Thank you.
You know, you're good. You know, you were a good girl, weren't you?
I try.
Yeah. Well, you still are, and your mom loves you to bits, okay? Just try to remember that. And thank you, thank you, thank you. So you've gone through enough, you've done enough. And so try to just recognize you're doing the best you can. And that's all mom needs and wants, okay?
Thank you so much. That means so much to me.
You're welcome. Thank you for talking to me, Shannon, and love from mom, okay?
Thank you.
I just want to just move here. Sorry, I've just moved contacts here. So thank you for the rest of you who've also just helped me from Ohio. And just know that just because my mind's not touching other contacts there for you, it doesn't mean to say your people are not there, but I'm just moving here. There's I want to talk to somebody here that I definitely feel I'm going to the central United States. I'm either going to sort of Wisconsin, Minnesota, just on the Canadian border there. Where I'm going, I know it's cold, so I know that it's there, because I'm seeing really, real good winters. So whoever I wish to speak to, I feel either has connections to either Wisconsin. It's the lakes areas that I want to talk about. Which state is the one with? Is there anything to do with butter in those states, or a milk in one of those, to Wisconsin or Minnesota? Because I keep seeing cows and milk for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, Wisconsin is it? Thank you. That popped up. Wisconsin's cheese, great. It's coming in fast and furious. Fabulous. Excellent. We might have a full meal by the time we're finished. Because I feel as if I'm going there, and whoever I wish to speak to, again, I've got another mom in the world of the spirit, and whoever I wish to speak to, I know it's mom here. I feel dad's in the world of the spirit as well. I also keep feeling wherever I'm going, there's lakes, lots of lakes. And as if the person I wish to speak to, again, might seem fairly obvious, they would have either lived by a lake or had a view of the lake at one point. I'm also feeling as well that I want to talk to somebody because I've got their parents here. I've got mom and dad. Mom was definitely more laid back. Dad was really interesting, and I feel as if that they may even have clashed at times. I don't mean in sort of banging heads, but I definitely feel as if I've got somebody who saw the world in a certain way. Definitely, and I feel as if I want to talk about a man who is had views, if I can put it that way. So I've got a father here, not a bad guy, but just a guy who was definitely head of the family. I also felt as well that whoever I wish to speak to, if this makes sense to somebody here, I feel as if that because there's two names I keep hearing here. I've got Marion and also May, or Mabel, but would that make sense to any of you out there, gang?
There's 3 hands up: Nancy,
Okay.
Annette, and Janet. Do you want to hear them all?
Yep, please.
Okay. So Nancy, I'm going to bring you first, and then I'll bring Nancy, if you can unmute yourself first. And
Hi.
Hi, Nancy.
Hello. Can you
Does
hear
that
me?
Yes, I can.
I can take everything except my father is not yet in the spirit world.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Annette?
And Annette.
My mom and dad are both in the spirit world, and we always used to visit Annie Mae.
Okay, fine. And there's Janet Sawyer. Ladies and gentlemen, I have met Janet before, so I want to be completely honest. Janet, does this make any sense to you?
All of it does.
Okay. All right. Well, let me just see what we can do here, gang. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have met Janet before. I do know Janet. I just want to put that completely out there. But Janet, being Janet, will also tell me if I've given her information before that she knows. So let's just see where we're going with here. I also felt as well with one of you ladies here. Is there a connected to family? Would there be either just past or a birthday coming up connected to one of a mom and dad or yourself at the moment?
Yes, for me, this is Annette. March 12th, my dad died. March 14th, my father-in-law died. And my best friend's birthday is March 26th when my husband asked me to marry him 40 years ago.
Okay. All right. Okay. Annette, I'll speak to you. I just want to quickly, because I just want to clear this from my mind. I just quickly to Janet, because I do feel as if that, as I heard your voice, I just felt mom just come in there. There was just something here, Janet, I don't know why, but would mom have ever have done any kind of either knitting, sewing, embroidery of some description?
Lots of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I just kept seeing that, and I don't know whether you have ever still have some of those pieces, but I just feel as if that there was some beautiful pieces that your mom did, and I just felt as well, just quickly with that, as if there was there's changes in your circumstances that mom just is talking about. So there's just be aware of change. It's good stuff here, Janet. And I just feel as if your mom just coming in to sort of just chivvy that along. Okay. So I'll just leave you with that for a moment, but there was just that embroidery just to say that it was mom. All right.
Thank you.
Annette, just coming back to you. And so this was your mom and dad, you said, wasn't it? You understood
Yes.
everything? Yeah.
Yep.
And you went to see, was it Auntie Marion, was it?
Annie Mae.
Auntie May. Okay. Because so you would understand about your dad being this sort of guy who really had views, if I can put it that way.
Yep.
Yeah. Because can I describe him as in some ways he would be quite conservative?
At his moments, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Because I've got a man here that it's almost like, he could teach stubbornness to people. And I mean this in a nice sense.
Yes.
Because he really would put his feet on the ground, dig his heels in, and you would not budge him. I just feel as if that you would not budge him. I know these are common enough names, but I do keep hearing the name of John here as well, Annette. And would you also know, because I know sort of the Wisconsin, Minneapolis area, there's a lot of Scandinavian heritage there. But Annette, would you know any in family that would have a name or connection like Jan or Jan?
It wasn't family, it was a friend of my brother's.
Right.
There.
Okay, because I just heard that name come in there. Now, I just feel as if I have to bring your mom in because I feel as if sometimes your dad would overpower at times with his personality.
Yep.
And he's not a bad man. It's just who he is. He's just boom,
Yep.
The funny thing is here, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, though I don't think he would have understood it. It reminds me a little bit of Walt Disney. Not that he was necessarily drawing pictures of Mickey Mouse, but your father definitely had a vision and a goal. And once he went for it, he would go for it, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
He could have been a very good entrepreneur of actually creating things. Even if he wasn't, there's a definite business side to his mind of creating things, if that makes sense.
Yep. He sold real estate.
Fine. Okay. Because that's there's that real sense within that. Now your mother's just sort of behind here, and I do have to give you her love. I don't know whether you have a memory of this at all with your parents, but I keep hearing in the background, "I Love Lucy." And I don't know whether that was ever on the TV, they ever watched that, or you did, but I keep hearing that,
I watched it. I used to watch it.
Okay. Because there's something here, that Lucy's friend Ethel, there's something here also with that name actually, of Ethel. And I don't know whether that's going back a bit with your mom. I also feel as if that your mom had this really good sense of humor, this dry sense of humor. And it's almost as if I want to just take the mickey out of your dad at times, not in front of him. I don't think that would have gone down well at all. But I just felt as if there was almost like a knowing glance sometimes regarding your father, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes.
Because he's off on one of his tirades, he's pontificating again, and your mother would just let him, go. But they're there, and in their own different ways, they had a great deal of respect and love for one another. And it's just where they are with you at the moment. I just want to come in and bring them to go, how are you doing? You've excelled yourself. The interesting thing is, I know you just mentioned to me about your father was a property real estate, but your father's also talking about real estate with you, Annette. Okay.
I do. I work in real estate.
You work in real estate.
Yep.
Oh, great.
Yep. For the Wisconsin, I'm Wisconsin's DOT. I work for the state as
okay.
real estate specialist.
Okay, great. Well, just on that note, quickly, because I know I'm going to run out of time shortly. Your father's also just talking about a piece of property for you. Okay. Now, I don't know what this is about, but will you just remember that I've said this? Because there's something about a piece of property for you or another piece of property that your father's interested in for you. Okay.
Okay.
So just see what comes up about this. All right. Now, if it comes true, you'll just remember my name. If it doesn't, you've never heard me before in your entire life. Okay. But there's just a piece of property here that your father keeps talking about, that it's almost as if, okay, there's time for you to just spread your wings, just keep your eye open, see what happens, because your father just keeps on talking about this big movement for you. Okay.
Will do. Thank you.
And so thank you for speaking to me. There is another Anna or Annette also in the spirit world, Annette.
Yeah. Anna's my mom.
Anna's your mom. Great. Well, so I know that she's here. I know she sends love. She just kept on showing me just this little doll here, almost like this knitted doll that she wants to give to you as well from way back when, just as a memory. And so thank you for speaking to me. You take care. You look after yourself. And love from mom and dad. Okay.
Oh, thank you and bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Simon, for that wonderful demonstration of mediumship. That will be bringing us to the end of the service. I forgot to mention that this wonderful book, Magician to Mystic, Simon and Brian co-authored. So you can find that as well, I think, on Amazon. It's a wonderful book. So please have a look at that as well. So as we come to the end of our service, we're deeply appreciative for all of you who have come to join us in community today, and particularly to Minister Simon James. And we would ask him to close with prayer, if you would.
Let's just take a moment to be within the breath. In the breath, let us be in gratitude for all that we are, for all that we do, for all that we yet may be. Let us be a beacon of the vision of the Creator. Let us be the action of the Creator within this world. And may we be the heart of the Creator, reminding always that love is the beginning and end of all things. And love always everlasting in reflection, in being and in life. And for this, may we be in gratitude. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much, Simon. It's so good to see you, and many prayers for what you have to finish before you get to go home. So,
thank you, Janet. Pleasure.
Always good to see you. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful day today, whatever you're doing. Thank you, Simon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, Jenna. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.